other people to catch because we're lonely. If we are, I feel like we're so caught up in this app dating, this app hookup age. It's no longer about, oh, I like you, let's sit down and have a conversation. This is how I'm feeling about this right now. It gets to the point where now intimacy is disposable. It's a swipe, right?
Yep.
You are in front of me right now, you will serve that purpose. I will move on to somebody else tomorrow, probably, right? When do we start holding each other accountable for feelings? And are we robbing each other and ourselves of the experience of falling in love again? I've gotten to the point where I've been feeling like it's probably not going to happen for me because I'm looking around at the dating atmosphere, and it does not look like anybody is interested in genuine connections anymore. It feels like everybody's just looking to get off. Like, how do you connect on a real level now?
Let's talk about something people love to glamorize but hate to unpack: gay hookup culture. On surface level, it looks exciting, whether it's the instant matches, quick meetups, everything fast and convenient. But when you slow it down and really look at what's happening, there's a whole lot more going on underneath. There's this constant cycle of scrolling, matching, rejecting, being rejected, and people start treating each other like products instead of actual human beings. You see it all the time in the way conversations go. It's like everyone's trying to prove that they're desirable while pretending nothing bothers them. And then you've got the safety issues people whisper about, but rather say it out loud. When you're meeting strangers, you're relying on honesty, but unfortunately, not everyone is honest. Some men lie about who they are. Some avoid any conversation pertaining to sexual health or just refuse to disclose. And that puts the other person in a position where they're carrying all the responsibility, leaving them at risk, and that's not fair nor safe. But it isn't just about physical safety. There's emotional fallout too. A lot of men go into these encounters hoping to feel something, whether it's a connection, validation, or a moment of intimacy. But the culture isn't built for that. It's built for speed, for convenience, for silence. And after a while, that silence gets heavy. People start feeling disposable, invisible, or pressured to be someone they're not just to fit in. And the truth is, none of this is random. It comes from years of being told not to talk about your feelings, not to talk about sex, not to take up space. Hookup culture didn't cause those wounds, it just reflects them back to us, sometimes in ways that we're not ready for. Talking about this isn't about judging anyone, it's about getting real. Because when we don't name the problems, they get bigger. When we don't talk about the risk, people get hurt. When we don't admit how this affects us, we keep pretending everything is fine while quietly falling apart. And before we can even talk about change, we have to start here with the truth, the raw, uncomfortable, human truth that nobody wants to say out loud. But let's unpack this and talk more about it.
Host.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your boy Dante, and I'm back again with another video. Today, as you guys can see by the title, we're talking about the dangers of gay hookup culture. Now, this is day 7 of Vlogmas. I was supposed to give you guys a video yesterday. I had everything recorded, ready to go, but YouTube was taking a while with reviewing my content, and they ended up demonetizing it, I guess because of the topic. So we're going to talk about the same thing today. So what inspired me to talk about this conversation, I feel like when it comes to gay hookup culture, you see a lot of gay men come on here and they tell their stories, they tell their experiences. And I was like, let me do my due diligence and let people know the real about gay hookup culture, not just the fun stuff. Let's be honest. We're all human and we're all sexual beings. It don't matter if you identify yourself as asexual, we all come from sex. So it's just like it's bound to happen. Gay boys turn 18 every single day. And I know when I was 18, I didn't know where to look to get advice from when it came to hookups, when it came to meeting with these random guys. I just kind of winged it. So that's another reason why I'm making this video, to not only educate, but just to be aware. And that's my intentions when it comes to making this video. It's not to scare, but to be aware. That's going to be my little slogan throughout this whole entire video, because I promise y'all the topics that we're going to talk about today are going to hit home. I'm telling you. Now, before we get into everything, I do want to read this Reddit comment. Y'all know I love Reddit now. But somebody commented and said, hookup culture has damaged and created a lot of toxic gay men, void of values and commitment. It has done more harm to the gay community than good. It also encourages many closeted bisexual men to cheat on their girlfriends/wives while enjoying heterosexual privileges. 4 things that I wanted to talk about pertaining to this whole entire conversation. I want to get into men not disclosing their health status. I'm going to say that again. Men not disclosing their health status. Unfortunately, there's a lot of gay men who unfortunately contracted HIV. And it all stems from them hooking up with the person or them having sexual intercourse with a person and the person didn't tell them that they had it. It's either a person didn't know they had it and spreaded it, or they did have it and spreaded it. And I feel like it's even worse when you do know and you don't disclose that. There's a lot of gay men who have HIV who happens to be undetectable and feel like, hey, I'm undetectable. I don't have to tell you shit. It's my business. And I just look at that as just so inconsiderate and just so evil. Baby, you have something that could potentially be passed on. It don't matter if you take your medication or not. It don't matter if you are undetectable or not. And it's not to make people who have it who watch me to offend y'all. It's not, but it's the truth. I feel like anybody deserves to know when you are having sexual intercourse with somebody. I feel like I'll respect you more as a person if you just be upfront with me and let me know. But there's so many gay men who has caught that shit all because of them having sex with somebody and them not knowing. So we're really going to get into that today. I want to talk about the loneliness plus the mental health aspect pertaining to hookup culture. People don't talk about how lonely people get and how hooking up kind of fills that void for them. I feel like you can be lonely when you're young too. I feel like there's a lot of older gays out there who may have not found their person yet. You know, they probably have their lives together, but they just haven't found their person. So they kind of use hookups to fill that void of them being lonely. And that shit can be exhausting because having sex, I mean, it feels good for the moment. Once that person go, when you're like back to yourself and back into your own solitude, that shit can really be lonely and it can really like weigh down on your mental health if you're not going to therapy about it. So we're going to get into that. I also want to talk about substance use. Now, I told y'all that I already recorded this video, and I think with me like speaking heavily on substance use, they kind of flagged my video because that was another part they was kind of telling me about that I should, take out. And the last thing, I want to kind of touch bases on horror stories. Now, all the things I told y'all, I actually made an entire segment. I did a lot of research on all of them each. So what I did, I combined all of my research together on all of these topics. I'm going to tell you all in one segment. So let's get into it. According to recent reports, around 78% of gay and bisexual men were tested for HIV in the past year, which is promising, but infections still circulate silently. Many sexually transmitted infections show no symptoms, meaning a person can feel perfectly healthy and still unknowingly pass something down. Studies have found that in some STI clinics, as many as 1 in 4 gay or bisexual men tested positive for at least one STI. The men who use hookup apps tend to have more partners, more unprotected sex, and higher STI rates than those who don't. Within this fast-moving environment, health status disclosure becomes a difficult, often avoided conversation. Some men choose to not reveal their HIV status, their last test date, or whether they are on PrEP or other medications. Sometimes it's fear of judgment, sometimes it's denial, sometimes it's the anxiety of being rejected. Research shows that a portion of men intentionally hide their status, while others are simply unsure if it's due to irregular testing. Whatever the reason is, the silence around sexual health creates a dangerous imbalance. In certain circles, drugs like meth, cocaine, and others becomes intertwined with sex, a phenomenon often referred to as chemsex. Studies consistently show that gay men who use substances during hookups are more likely to engage in high-risk sexual behavior, experience STI transmission, and suffer from mental health challenges such as anxiety or depression. The combination of drugs and sex can blur boundaries, impair consent, and leave people vulnerable in ways they never intended. But beyond the physical risk, the emotional toll of hookup culture is often overlooked. Many men enter this world because they are searching for something, whether it's comfort, validation, a sense of belonging they never found growing up. For queer people who spent years hiding who they were, the attention from strangers can feel intoxicating. Yet the intimacy is fleeting. Encounters often end quickly and quietly, leaving some men with a feeling of emptiness once the door closes. Over time, the cycle of being wanted in the moment but forgotten afterward can erode self esteem and intensify feelings of loneliness. There are also darker experiences, the horror stories, that circulate privately but rarely get told publicly. Men who were robbed by someone that invited them over. Men who were pressured into acts they didn't fully consent to. Men who were left traumatized by encounters that started with excitement but ended in fear. And let's not forget some men losing their lives behind these apps.
Only on 2 tonight, a capital murder suspect is accused of preying on gay men, and investigators say he finds his targets on a gay dating app. Our senior reporter, Phil Archer, is live with that story tonight. And Phil, investigators say Benjamin Davis went from robbery to murder over the weekend.
Yeah, they say that he signed on to that on that dating app looking for people who were looking for love so he could rob them. But his very first meeting allegedly ended with murder. Benjamin Davis has a history of violence. He served 2 years in prison for choking a family member in 2018. Then back on the street and looking for money, he allegedly opened an account on Grindr, the gay dating app, to target victims for robbery.
He learned from other individuals, people that we don't know, that it's pretty easy to get into people's homes on this app.
Davis told investigators he arranged to meet a man he met on Grindr, identified as Victor Najira Betanzos, at Betanzos' West Side apartment, ostensibly to have sex, but the real motive was robbery. Once inside, Davis allegedly turned on Betanzos, knocking him unconscious and then killing him, as described by a prosecutor shortly after Davis's arrest.
The defendant stated he removed a scarf, wrapped it around the complainant's neck, stated that he made an X on the back of the complainant's neck, pulled up, strangling the complainant.
Davis then allegedly poured bleach on the body in an effort to destroy evidence and drove off in the dead man's truck after taking his iPhone and iPad. Police spotted Davis in the stolen truck and arrested him Saturday.
The level of violence that was used in this particular case really stands out.
Uncommon violence, but not an uncommon crime. Social media apps make it easy for criminals to target victims. Caution is the best defense.
Really look at people before you allow them to come into your homes, before you allow them to give you an address, that you go and meet them.
At this point, investigators say they haven't found any other victims. Davis is charged with capital murder. He's currently being held on $500,000 bond. Reporting live downtown, I'm Phil Archer, KPRC 2 News.
So these 4 men used Grindr, posing as someone who's interested in hooking up with another man to lure 4 men to an apartment in Dallas. When the men arrived, they were immediately ambushed, their wallets were stolen, they were tied up, beat up, and thrown in the closet. For over a 24-hour span, these men were tortured. That includes being beaten, having feces rubbed in their faces, being urinated on. Although being hog-tied and laid on their stomach, they would have their heads lifted up and repeatedly kicked or punched or both. And the men were even SA'd. I didn't find out about it from the news. I found out on TikTok when I watched this man's video. He's one of the victims, and if you scroll down his page, you will see the videos of him telling his accounts of what happened that day, and they are traumatic. In the video, he says he's embarrassed to tell his story and what happened to him, but as long as it saves one life, it's worth it. And when I tell you, I have never been on Grindr since the day I saw this video. So, sir, thank you for telling your story. I appreciate it. I'm sorry that happened to you. We as a community, we love you. You are valued, and I'm glad you made it. As for the men involved, the ringleader got 23 years in prison, and the other sentences range from 12 years up to 20. These stories are not the majority, but they are real. Still, this isn't a call to shame hookup culture or condemn the people who participate in it. So that's my research that I did about all the topics that I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to spread awareness, y'all. That's all I want to do. Again, it's not to scare you. Now, it's a lot of people who may not know about at-home HIV testing. This is not a sponsorship. It's just me, getting the word out there. But it's 2 websites that I use. It's called heymister.com, and the other one is called Together Take Me Home. Well, I'm sorry, togethertakehome.com. Both of these websites offer free HIV testing. It's free. You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay a damn dime for nothing. They just ship everything to you, and the shipping is pretty fast. So I really want anybody who just may be curious about their status and want to know. You can literally just go to one of these websites, put in your state where you live at. They should be able to send you an HIV test. Now, I think the most you can get is like 2 at a time, but it's really good. I even put my homegirls to it. They're not even gay. They're straight. Everybody needs to be on it when it comes to their health, especially if you're sexually active. Now, I do want to react to TikToks that I found.
Y'all, I be getting on these dating apps because I be bored and lonely. Not necessarily because I be wanting to have sex or whatever. But I'm really getting tired of it. I know I cannot be the only one that noticed that these niggas be wanting to have sex but they don't want to use no protection. Like they'll literally have the nerve to text me and be like, raw, question mark, question mark. No, not raw. What is wrong with you? And then they'll be trying to tell me, they'll got the nerve to say, I don't got nothing, it's okay, I take prep. I don't give a fuck what you take. That prep shit don't work all the time. No. Like, I don't know what's wrong with these niggas. Sometimes I just be wanting to, that's why I be trying to meet out in public, because sometimes I just be wanting to chill. Why the fuck is everybody so goddamn horny? And not using protection? Like, that is crazy to me. And that's another reason why I don't have sex, because these niggas be so easy. It's so easy to fuck a nigga. And it make you not person with morals and shit, it make you not want to fuck a nigga. Because it's like, bitch, if you that easy with me, then you that easy with everybody. But you talking about raw? Oh, no, honey.
When I tell y'all, like, he made a lot of sense and I can relate to everything that he said, I think that's another reason why I'm celibate now. Because when I tell y'all, excuse my language, but when I tell y'all it's so easy to get dick, like, it does not take much. You don't even have to ask for it. They just be giving it out. So I can definitely understand. And I've ran into a lot of men who he kind of described. It's a lot of men out here who do not care about protection. They don't care about all that. They're just trying to bust a nut. And I feel like it just takes one time, y'all. It takes one time to link up with somebody because you're just trying to bust a nut and you catch something. Maybe it's not HIV, maybe it's chlamydia, maybe it's something. Like, even though you can get rid of stuff like that in terms of just like chlamydia and stuff, but you still can catch something, babes. So it's just like, be careful, be mindful of who you lay down with. And if you are somebody who enjoys sex, just use condoms. I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. Use condoms, protect yourself.
This is for people who have a status, and when I'm talking about a status, I mean a status when it comes to STDs and all that kind of stuff. I got asked, why do I tell people, like, in the beginning about my status, and it's none of their business, when to me it is their business. If you want to put time into me, especially if you want to be in a relationship with me, whatever, you need to know everything about me, especially everything about me that can affect your health and that affects my health. I have to tell you everything, because at the end of the day, that is their choice on if they want to mess with me or not because of that. And if they don't want to mess with me because of it, then that's perfectly fine. I just want you to disclose it like a grown man, because, you know, I would want someone just to tell me straight up. And I don't want people to feel ashamed about it, because at the end of the day, it is a part of you. It is something that you can't get rid of. So at the end of the day, if someone doesn't want to mess with you because of it, then they're not for you. And you're not for them. There's going to be somebody out there who's going to love you regardless of what you got going on. There's going to be somebody out there who's going to meet you and who might not know about it, but then wants to know about it, okay? I've had someone tell me, you know, I want to learn about it, inform me, because I do like you and I want you to inform me about it. I informed him about it and he was like, all right, cool. I've actually had a couple guys say that. It's not as uncommon as people make it seem like. Actually, in like when you're in the gay community, it's, I don't want to say common, but like you do need to know, like, it's actually a lot more common than you think, just because of how people, especially in the gay community, just be doing things and doing shit. But the thing I got is because I got SH, and that's why I contracted it. And the stereotypes y'all be having with people like that, stop having them stereotypes. Because at the end of the day, you don't know if someone got SA'd. You don't know if somebody was born with it. You just never know, because you can't be born with those diseases, actually. So I just feel like, you know, as of right now, me trying to find love and shit, if somebody just doesn't want to fuck with me because of that, then it's just not for me. And you need to start thinking that yourself. If somebody doesn't want to mess with you because of that, just know this. There's somebody out there who will. There's somebody out there who's going to love you for you regardless of what you got going on. And don't let that discourage you into finding love, because love is out there for everybody, okay? It's out there for everybody. So at the end of the day, just be yourself and stop being ashamed of it, okay? Start embracing it, because if you can't accept yourself, then you can't accept anybody who wants to come into your life.
I appreciate everything he said. I feel like men who have HIV, just be honest and disclose it. Tell a person what's going on. It don't matter if y'all are about to hook up or whatever. Like, if you even feel like hooking up, a person shouldn't know, because you're just like, in the moment, you just want to go ahead and get it over with because you don't want to get rejected. I feel like the person needs to know. The person needs to know. I appreciate his honesty. And yes, I agree. I feel like if you do have it, live in it, embrace it, talk about it, educate people, you know? But I can definitely understand. It's a sexual health thing, so it can be very personal. But I feel like you shouldn't keep it personal when you have people that you're potentially about to have sex with. But yeah.
Do we think hookup culture has negatively impacted women's ability to develop more meaningful, intimate relationships?
I was reading one of the articles, and actually came from Vox. It's a gay psychiatrist who said, "I'm worried about the rise of the underground digital bathhouse." Goes on to say, apps like Grindr, with 3 million daily active users, and others like Scruff and Jack, are designed to help gay men solicit sex, often anonymously online. I am all for sexual liberation, but I can't stop wondering if these apps also have a negative effect on gay men's mental health. When I thought about that, I think the answer is absolutely yes. I feel like a lot of people's mental health is impacted by the apps. You get jaded on these apps, and people say that they want meaningful connections, but they don't move. They move differently, I find. Not all the time. And so I think that people go after that instant gratification, and that's what you get. And that kind of like impacts actually getting to know someone, actually having conversation. And so it depends on what you're looking for. If you're on apps, and it's not just the Jacks and the Grinders, there's the Tinders, there's the Bumbles, there's so many other apps that are supposed to be for meeting other people.
Mm-hmm.
But it depends on how you're using the app. Just because you're on a hookup app, and just because you want to hook up, and just because that's what you're pursuing, doesn't mean that you're incapable of wanting more. You can, it's not a
either or.
Yeah, it's not either or. You can do both.
I think sometimes though, like we blame hookup culture or hookup apps for issues that are more personal. Like if we talk about intimate relationships, it's not about hooking up or the app or anything. It's about how we treat each other as human beings, how we engage with other queer men, how we value, and it's the thing I've said probably since the first season of our show. It's like the same people on Sniffy's, Grindr, Jack, Bumble, at the club, living next door to you. It's the same fucking 10 gay dudes in Harlem. Like the people are not different. It's just how we're choosing to treat one another based on environment that I think needs to be reevaluated.
I'm very much the kind of person, like, if we hook up, I genuinely want you out of my life, out of my memory. I never want to see you
After
again.
the hookup?
Yeah, like not
Really?
unless we had like a genuine connection.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm happy you said general connection, because I feel like hookup culture, it's been, I won't say it's a problem, but it causes a lot of men to have commitment issues.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%, because I feel like it's very mentally draining.
It can be
being
mentally
honest,
draining.
because
It really can.
imagine every single day you're swiping, you're scrolling, you're talking
Trying to find
to people,
something.
you're trying to find someone, and because people have their own ideas of what they're looking for,
Exactly.
you might not even fit into the category,
And they might fit into your category.
Yeah.
And they say they're not interested, and then you get like, oh.
Is this whole kind of play on rejection? You're always getting like,
Yeah, it's kind of rejection. But to be fair, that's why I never message first. That must
I
sound
learned
crazy.
that from Kojo. No, I learned that from you because I
Yeah.
realized because someone, especially on Grindr, could figure out what people are into, because they might tell you, they might put a little information in their bio, but you won't know until you speak to them or until they air you out. But if you wait for people to message, then you're like, oh.
Yeah,
The
the boys in your
yeah.
core.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the most I would do if I like someone is I'll tap them.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people say no taps.
Just taps
I'll
are
tap you.
sorry.
I
I
don't
always
give a fuck.
tap. I don't give a
I'll
fuck.
tap. I'm
The
not
taps is
messaging.
good though.
Because
Tap
it's
is-
easy. Like I just tap you, you know how I'm feeling, and then everything is open.
How do y'all feel about that? Do y'all feel like gay hookup culture, or just hookup culture in general, like, does that affect you in terms of just like you trying to commit? And now, me personally, I feel like it does, but I would really love to hear what y'all think about it. Now, after the last video that I want to react to, of basically, y'all, this man came out and said that he feel like a gay person that's undetectable, it shouldn't be their place to tell the person that they're undetectable. Let's take a look.
If you are undetectable, like, you don't necessarily like have to disclose that. I don't think you're putting.
I was personally stunned when this video showed up on my feed. How dare you just keep your status to yourself because you're undetectable? Yes, undetectable means untransmittable, but the way you're going about this and what you're saying is kind of weird. I think most people know that in terms of research and HIV, we have come a very long way, and HIV is no longer a death sentence. I think most people remember the AIDS crisis of the 80s or have heard about it, and how many gay men died to this disease, unfortunately. However, what this man is saying is that even if you are HIV positive, you don't need to tell your partner at all. I would strongly disagree with that, and I have friends who are HIV positive who I think would agree with me. I can't believe I'm about to say this on TikTok, but I was once with a person who is HIV positive, and he's undetectable, but he didn't tell me. He hadn't told me that until after we met and hooked up. I don't think that was right. There are cruel people out there who just want to spread disease, and it doesn't matter if you're gay, it doesn't matter if you're straight. I've heard of straight gay men and straight women trying to spread HIV to people they didn't like, or just to people randomly, and they didn't care about who they infected. I'm sure most people are aware that's illegal, and people have been arrested after doing these things. I think it's atrocious. I think it's disgusting. And if you are HIV positive, you don't need to make a big deal about it. But I think disclosing that information to your partner would be a wise idea. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, that just pissed me off. Like, just the thought of people doing that shit is disgusting to me. Like, that's crazy. But I hope you guys love this video. Again, my purpose of this video was not to scare, but to be aware. This concludes this video. I love you so much, and I will see you with day 8 of Vlogmas. Bye.